Sitaram, everybody. And as we get set to listen to tonight's discourse, before we go, I just go into the Yagya. I want to invite each and every person for Bhagwat 2025 at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram. You are all invited. Whether you would like to help us cook, get involved in making mala, bring your children so that we can teach them, or maybe you would like to sit for prayer. Once you follow the rules of fasting and preparing yourself that we all know and we've come to practice when we have prayer, the door is open for you to come and take part. Please give me a call. You have my number on the screen. When the yagya starts, use it. Call me for more information. The dates on the invitation, again, from the 3rd to the 10th of August. I am cordially inviting you and your family. Come sit in the audience. Come sit for prayer. Do what you would like. Get involved in some way. And it begins with a phone call. It begins with reaching out, calling me, texting me, and we'll do it together. See you soon. I hope you enjoy your satsang. Have fun, everybody. Sitaram. Prem Sivalavindra Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Sitaram, everybody, and welcome tonight. I'm your Vyas for tonight, Pandit Keshava, and we are broadcasting from the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram here in Princestown, Trinidad. Tonight we begin the first session of 3 nights of virtual Bhagwat, Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, that's that text, Mahatyam. Mahatyam, for those young people looking on, means the greatness. It means the power of. This reading comes from a text called Padma Puran. It is not in Bhagwat. Bhagwat is one thing. Padma Puran deals with the greatness of things you will come across in one section, the greatness, the usage of Tulsi, Tulsi Mata, Tulsi the plant. Where we are entering in our text tonight, we've just completed the Bhagavad Gita Mahatyam, which is when people learn to chant the Bhagavad Gita. If a person should chant all the verses in chapter 16, what it will give a person, if you chant all the verses in chapter 15, 14 onwards, like that, every verse, the 18 chapters are dealt with in Padma Puran. Parvati Mata is asking Lord Shiva these questions about these things. And that is where we are going to enter into our discourse, starting from tonight, tomorrow night, and the following night. Let us begin firstly with our mantras. In these 3 nights, we're going to learn about prayers. I wanted to do this with you. I wanted to provide this information as a supplementary yagya to work with your Baba. This is to help young people, young at heart people, everybody, regardless who's your guru, what country you live in, and that is why I'm using this medium, so that we could help break down some of the words, some of the teachings, some of the things that we do to help build you up, some of the rationale. In this yagya, we are focusing on Bhagwat, but it have a lot of teachings in it. So we'll be dealing with some words. The reason why I'm starting tonight in South India, throughout the world, but more celebrated in South India, today begins the beginning for some people. They had asked people, for those of you, Sitaram, those of you in Guyana, special welcome to those that may be viewing in Suriname, in other parts of the world, even if on the repeat. People had messaged earlier in the month, and they said, Pandit, I've heard of Gupta Navratri. Gupta Navratri begins tonight. And it is the first day, but in this Navratri, for those in the Western Hemisphere, West Indies, and where I am, in America, Canada, it is really not the popular story where we have Durga Mata and Mahisasur and different character. Tonight we're going to chant a couple of mantras from the Saptashati part from Markandeya Puran, but even that isn't related to this one. This one has to do with the Das Mahavidya. A lot of tantric prayer. Those people that follow agoric and tantric practices, they are very busy. It's still Devi, but just different names and different offerings are made, to be quite honest. Because this isn't everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody practices this type of worship in a true sense, but people still, let's say, like me, who worship Durga Mata, I will still read my Saptashati Path. I will still worship my Durga, maybe offer Durga Dar as we know it, or Arg, the Jal, the Prasad as I know it, because it's the same mother. And I encourage you the same. So tonight we begin with our mantras. Please join your hands together. Put your hands together. I'm sure I've heard Pandita Biranan talk about what the five fingers represent and the five organs and why we do this posture. And I want you to, looking at yourself where you are, if you're watching me on your laptop, your cell phone, whatever device, wherever you may be, are you ashamed to do this? Tonight we're going to start to discuss some of the things that you and I do, but we have our little weaknesses in our devotion, weaknesses in our practice. But let's be fair, we all have trouble. So, trouble. So let's pray first and then we'll continue talking thereafter. Let's think of Ganesh Baba. Close your eyes if you can. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. Om Gajananam Bhutaghanadi Sevitam Kapet Jambu Palchar Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam. Let's pray to Mother. Whether you're keeping up the Navratri Vrat or you're praying for help, tonight I'm reading just a couple of verses of the Saptashati, something called Kunjika Stotra. It is referencing a prayer that Ma, you are the key to accomplishing anything. You are the energy, like the battery inside the remote control. You make it work. Without your energy, it can't work. If I'm applying for a job, if I'm going to work, if I'm fighting the sickness, if I'm having a problem in the marriage, if the children are not listening, if I can't learn the work, Mother, with your energy, anything is possible. With that in mind, say your prayers, everybody. Hari Om Shiva Uvacha Shrunu Devi Pravakshami Kunjika Stotra Uttamam Yena Mantra Prabhena Chandi Japa Shubham Bhavet Na Kavacham Nargala Stotra Kilakam na rahasyakam na suktam nyapi dhyanam na cha nyaso na cha varchanam kunjika pat matrena durga pat phalam labet ati guyantaram devi devana mapi dulabham Gopinam yam pratyena swayam yoni vriva parvati maranam mohanam vyasanam stamba no chadikam patmatrena samsiddhya kunjika stotra uttamam. Om aim hrim klim chamunde vicha. A lot of you would know that prayer. Om glam hum klim jum sat jwale jwale jwal jwal prajwal prajwal. Om aim hrim klim chamunde vicha jwal hum sam lam sham fat swaha. One last verse. Namaste Ruddha Rupinyai Namaste Madhumardani Namakaitab Bharinyai Namaste Mahisa Sadini. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. My godson is in the country, Aaron Ali. His family recently lost his nanny. Forgive me offhand, I can't remember Ma's name. But that family, they are preparing for funeral, as many families are. And tonight, part of my reading, I want to dedicate it to that family. And for those of you that have lost your loved ones, those of you that are going through the 10 days ceremony, if the person's death anniversary is coming, may the reading that we are going to chant tonight, may the benefit of this prayer go towards uplifting those souls. Let's say now a couple of mantras, sloka from the Narayan Suktam, thinking of Mahavishnu. Sahasra Shirsam Devam Vishvaksham Vishwasambhuvam Vishwam Narayanam Devam Aksharam Paramam Padam Vishwatah Paramam Nityam Vishwam Narayanagum Harim Vishwam Evadam Purusattad Vishwam Upajivate Patim Vishwaya Atma Swaragum Shaswagum Tatvagum Shivam Achyutam Narayanam Mahagyaninam Vishwa Atmanam Parayanam Narayana Paro Jyotir Atma Narayana Paraha Narayana Parabrahma Tattvam Narayana Paraha Narayana Paro Dhyata Dhyanam Narayana Paraha Anantam Avyam Vyam Kavim Gum Sumandritam Vishwam Sambhuvam Padma Kosha Pratikshagum Hridayam Chapado Mukam. Just consider what it means. This one verse, right? One verse. One should meditate within the person's heart, that supreme personality, Mahavishnu. Why? Because he is the cause of happiness in this universe. Who is the end of this world, this ocean of death, birth, death, birth? The goal that each person, whether they realize it or not, is striving to overcome. He is the person who could bring an end to that cycle. I bow to him. He is my focus. He is the person within me and around me. Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Tonight, let me preface our discussion with a lot of people have problems. And in this problem, people get despondent, myself included. When I lost mommy, when, at different times you have a bill or you have a predicament and you don't know what to do, how to do, where to turn. Some people, they throw their hands up in the air and they really lost. And it happens to everybody. Tonight we enter where that is part of our conversation. And we're going to learn to use, I wish I had brought a hammer. I want to do it in such a way for children to understand. Since I lost mommy, may I cannot play. I feel like I'm missing it. And it was a way to, to bring across the point. We enter into Padma Puran tonight. But before I do that, I was advised by my niece to sing a bhajan. Let's sing for Krishna, everybody, before we enter into our discourse. Sing with me. It's just me and you tonight. No group, no crowd, nobody. Chitta Chora Yashodha ki Bal Navanita Chora Gopal Chitta Chora Yashodha ki Bal Navanita Chora Gopal 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 Go Vardhan Gopala Hey Giridhara Gopala Jai Jai Giridhara Gopala Jai Jai Giridhara Gopala Chitta Chora For people who can't sing, sing with me. Chit chora yashodha ki bal, Navanit chora Gopal, 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 Go, Vardhana Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Chitta Yashodha Kibal, Navanita Chora Gopal, Navanita Chora Gopal, Vindravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Tonight we are going to define some words that people take for granted. You hear about it from satsang to satsang. Imagine I had a wonderful tool. It's my hammer. But for children to understand, imagine I took my hammer and instead of hammering something like a nail, I took my hammer and I was turning a pot. Could you imagine my 5-year-old nephew watching me like, what's wrong with you, Mamu? You're crazy? That is not how you use a hammer. That is not how you use this tool. This tool is so powerful and very capable of doing the job it was supposed to do, that it would help me, the owner of the tool, achieve my outcome without plenty work. Imagine I had the ponga nail. For children, I had the ponga nail with my finger. Same force, little bit. At one point, I suspect, I'm not sure, at some point, I might be able to get the nail into the surface. But with the help of my tool, I might be able to execute my job very quick. A tool is a very useful thing if used properly. Same tool, misused, could do it from 5, I might end up with 4, in all fairness. Tonight, let me talk about a tool that we have as Hindu people, but to be honest, we just use it, like me and my example, we just use it wrongly. We don't use it effectively. We don't use our tools in the appropriate way. Let me use an example. If somebody was listening to our little chant, nothing technical, nothing, with the instruments and all, the professionals, not like that. It was just croaky you and croaky me singing a song for Lord Krishna. For some people, they go to prayer and it is the barber's job, it is the singer's job to sing. At the very onset of our satsang, where do you stand in that paradigm? Are you the type to sing along? Do you want to sing? Are you motivated to sing? Or is it their job? Tonight, let me talk about that. We enter where Parvati Mata and Lord Shiva have been talking about, as I said, the Bhagwat Gita. And Lord Shiva is the one, he explained to Mother the value of each verse, each chapter, and what it could bring. Let's do one verse, one slok, just to introduce our topic, and then we'll go from there talking tonight as time is running away. Shiva Om Shakti Om Hari Om Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Vishwam Mahadeva Chaiva Sadhyana Cha Narayanapi Bhajayamta Bhagavanyatam Bhagwatam Nuschayatam Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Oh Mahadev Baba, the goddess Parvati is talking to Lord Shiva. They're sitting together one side, privately speaking. But she wants to learn from him. Oh Ishwar, you have very aptly, very calmly, very wonderfully given to me the Mahatyam of the Bhagwat Gita. That Gita, which was that divine song that was written, that has been dictated from Krishna to Arjun, that was the Mahatyam now, not the Bhagavad Gita itself. The Mahatyam is a conversation between Lord Krishna and Mother Earth when Krishna Leela is finished and he's moving on. She says, I have heard the benefit of holding the book, keeping the book, giving the book in Dan, reading the book so much. Now, O Ishwar, I have an eagerness to listen to the great account of Krishna. I want to hear more. I have heard that amongst all the Puranas, the Bhagwat Puran is the best. In this text, it is said that it is repeating the name of Krishna, of Vishnu, and it has been sung by various goodly and godly saintly people. Tell me the Mahatyam of the Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. Lord Shiva says to her that Saunak and Sutji sitting in the holy field of Naimisharanya, when that conference that we hear about whenever we are discussing Puranic history, they asked this same question in the time where they had reached a break and they were ready now to restart their conversation. Saunak says, Guruji, I am now interested. Please narrate to us the account of how useful this Srimad Bhagwat Puran is. It is said it is an elixir, it is Amrit, which destroys the darkness of ignorance, the sins of all a person's past karma, from not this janam, from previous birth coming up the road. Things that cause a great amount of pain on a person's life. This Bhagwat is said to have the ability to erode these things, blessing a person, freeing them from their past sins, but putting a person on a trajectory that they must become free of what the sansar. Constantly going and coming, going, coming, going, coming. The person is able to discriminate between good and bad by usage of the Bhagwat. Oh Guruji, it is said that a person could know what is to be done, what is not to be done. If we at this point have already conquered Gita, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, when he starts to discuss what is a demonic person or persona, he says they never know what to do. They don't know right, wrong. Think about the parent tonight. The parent who is trying, simple language, to get the child to act appropriate in school, to get the child to make good friends or to keep good company, or maybe the parent that is trying to break a relationship to be honest, that the girl is not good for the boy, or the boy is not the good person for this girl. They are encouraging different type of addiction, bad habits. The person cannot, it is as if they are blinded and they cannot discriminate good or bad. By associating with this text, it is said the person is blessed with that ability to discriminate between bad and good. A different type of knowledge comes upon the person, and depending on their age, Guruji, a person acts accordingly. So the 15-year-old, the 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old pensioner, the person acts to their age. They know how to conduct themselves in public setting, in private setting, etc. If a person does not have this ability, why is it important? Because suppose the person is in need, they are lacking. In this Kali Yuga, in this slok 7, in this Kali Yuga, the person has a temperament like a demon. Now, if I said that without explaining it, some child would think somebody is going to have horns on their forehead and laugh, ha 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 ha, like the demons we see in our movies. Suppose the person is addicted to cough syrup. Suppose the person chills bay rum in the fridge. Suppose the person is addicted to sleeping tablets. Suppose the person cannot function without smoking marijuana, or is addicted to the video game. Mom, in all fairness, addiction takes different forms. I'm just picking on the addiction. Suppose the person is diabetic and they only, oh, I need the barfi one more time. I need it. Regardless of the outcome. And you become the bad for yourself. Suppose the demon is inside in the form of addiction. Yes, we pick on that guy and this girl, and they are bad and they're not encouraging you to pick up your book, for example. But suppose when I become my own enemy, he says in this Kali Yuga, it is prevalent. The person becomes lost. They cannot help themselves. If a person has to go, how it is called the game you used to play when you were small? Minecraft. If a child becomes lost in Minecraft, mother and father porting, what you go tell them that they go put down that device? Their eyes are going, the attention span is going. What language? If any parent looking at this live, you could send me a message, tell me what is the secret to break that addiction. Many people and the children now seem, you look at it, they seem as if they are helpless. The influence of things that will damage their body seems to be on the increase. Carcinogenic items, different types of food that will cause damage to their body, different medicines or drugs, fentanyl, ketamine, and different things that just are damaging them. And it is right or wrong. The most addictive thing, sugar, and they want it more than anything else. What about when that becomes very prevalent and everybody wants that, but they don't want good things for themselves? At the end of the day, parents, you talk, are your children, mommy, I am running down Karaili. I want Karaili, it's good for you. Mommy, I want herbal tea. Mommy, I want to eat good things. In this age of Kali Yuga, the person becomes blinded and they could become their own enemy in this example of addiction. In this case, Guruji, we are taught as Sanatanists that the elixir to purify the person, to break the hold, what caused these problems, these ailments that me and you have, the arthritis, the anxiety, the internal and external problems, the diabetes, the sickness. God made everybody. But think about now what I said at the beginning. When bad things start to happen, we get so lost. How could God let bad things happen to me? I gave a cow in down. I was a good man. I was a good wife. I did this. I did that. Why? It still comes because this is life. Hinduism believes that this life is an opportunity for a person to burn through karma. This is Sanatan Dharma. You have to account for that karma. That karma, if I'm just using some examples here now, I love to listen and gossip in my previous life. That same God is going to give you a birth where the body is not going to have hearing, and God make the deaf child, and God make everybody. In other religion, you hear God made you and I in his image perfection. But truthfully, brothers and sisters, we are not perfect. So then where it come from? And how could God make us that way? The accountability of the divinity is what we call karma. Karma is making the child blind. Karma is making the husband distracted by other women, or women by other men. Making the person secretly texting in the night and sending nude pictures. That is karma. How to break it? Guruji, when the person has this baggage of corrupt karma, past karma, from your previous life, that you are going to dig yourself into the depths of making more karma now, being bad, doing bad things. The elixir, the tablet, the antibiotic, if you would, that is going to free you of that sickness, that affliction, is Bhagwat Mahapuran. It purifies the person of the sin. The sin is the problem. Burn the karma. And then the person starts to inherit and enjoy a higher felicity or a lot of good moments, joyous moments, happiness, stable moments. Stable is when you could be just normal. When you get up in the morning and maybe there's no great excitement or great loss. When you lose that stability or that equilibrium, it becomes kind of torturous. Yes, everybody likes to win the lotto. Think about what I say, eh? Win the lotto, get the money, and then live to see the money be squandered, or the bandit come to take the money, or the family vex or hate or jealous or whatever because of something you buy, and then the same money becomes a curse. Everybody who attains grandeur is looking for peacefulness. They are looking for silence. People who have silence and peaceful and living in the forest want the city life. The city life, they want to go and run to the forest life. It seems as if you're always like this. You don't know what you want and you're searching for it. However, the person who becomes purified of the past sins, that person now finds their life very tranquil and very stable, and their persona becomes very equilibrium, able to endure the ups and downs of this life without being affected. Oh, please, Guruji, oh, preceptor, in this time, it is rare to understand the secrets of that Bhagwat. As Kali Yuga is coming, Bhagwat would attract less and less people because that medicine, that tool, follow me, that tool, people will not have the karma to understand how to use the tool. It is there, it exists. I could access it, but I don't know the value of it. And because I don't know the value of it, I will never want to use it, utilize it, learn about it, and then put it into practice to achieve my goals, Guruji. Please tell us the efficacy, tell us the benediction, describe to lowly children to understand at our level the value of this tool called Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. When you get the opportunity, O Guruji, to sit at the feet of a preceptor that is given the information, the Gyan, the wealth of this tool, then a person is living in their good times, their good merit, their good karma is allowing them to ingest the text of Bhagwat. And if a person should receive it, the blessings is only going to help them. Guruji Sudji says, "Oh Brahmanas, oh blessed children, I'm very pleased with your question. And I am going to tell you, I have heard it, and it is the best thing for a person to listen, assimilate, and put into practice. It destroys fears of this world. Some people live in fear. A good example to understand fear how it's invisible and it could control you. Imagine for us looking on right now, if you're looking at me on the television, it still applies. If you're looking at me on the repeat, it still applies. If you're on the YouTube channel, it still applies to you. Remember COVID? Do you remember how anxious we were? The ban is lifted, you can travel, you can sit in the plane, you can go outside, and people were still afraid to send their children to school or to mix as a group, to go to a yagya, to go to a public setting, to go to a health center or to a hospital. Will I still get sick? Fear. So the natural inclination for many people was, if I don't need to go out, I'm not going. Another example, for us here in Trinidad, we have a high crime rate. For the group, the Sabha from Peru and Brazil, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that live in fear. And when you have that demon of, the enemy, the bandit, the robber outside somewhere lurking in dark, coming to strike at any time, you're not motivated to leave. It affects how you dress, the things you wear, the things you buy, because people are looking on. Fear. It destroys fear of this world because it increases. How does Bhagwat help a person? The mode. It increases devotion or bhakti because of the pleasing and the pleasure that a person can bring by chanting, listening to the name of Krishna. Devotion. Tonight, let us touch on that word. When a person goes to, I had to make my notes here from different sections in Bhagwat. What is the benefit of Bhagwat? Bhagwat is different from, let's say, Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran. You've heard me read these things for you many times. Garud Puran. Let's say I was reading Shiv Puran for you tonight. And in Shiv Puran, it has where you have the history of the Mahakal Lingam. It has where you have Swatik Lingam and pertinent information. The bay leaf history with Lakshmi Mata, wonderful discourses. For the Shiv Bhakt, you cry, you enjoy it. But when you listen to Bhagwat Puran, Bhagwat Yagya, you are left with a different effect. It allows you to see it. It allows you to feel it. The Ved Vyas who wrote Bhagwat, he allows you to end up with the bhakti or the devotion. So what is bhakti? What is devotion? I thought devotion, Baba, is when I am doing my arti, my havan, the puja. That is one form of bhakti. Tonight, I want to just reintroduce bhakti to you, just to be on the same page, make sure you're clear. Bhakti is the practice of loving the Lord, attachment to God. It is a development by doing different things where I hone my relationship with Him. Let's say I'm not fasting. I don't want to go, I'm in the ashram. I don't want to go by the murti. I can't light a havan in my home. But I practice singing Chitta Choda Yashoda Kibal in my earbuds on the train. I'm sitting in the taxi. I'm kneading my flour. I'm doing my work and I'm honing that, I love Him. I'm getting ready to leave the house. My aunt, who may be watching tonight, when I remember years ago, she's in New York, when I used to go by her more regular, I remember I learned from her. Auntie Radha taught bow to the earth. She would always bow to the mud. She may not reach into the prayer room in the busyness to go to work, but she would touch the mud. That was her thing. Developing that attachment to God. Finding a way, an ebb. Not making excuse, but finding an excuse to do something with God. Could it be, say, a prayers over your food? Could it be, say, a prayers in your car? Could it be one of these options? Tonight, that is bhakti. Bhakti is not just doing puja or just singing the Chalisa for Hanumanji or dressing up and going to a prayer. I love to go to prayers. That is part of it. They're all part of it. Tonight, let me define bhakti. Shravana, there are 9 forms of bhakti. First one, Shravana, where the person loves to listen. Maybe you're listening in your home. Maybe you're listening in your job if you're working a shift tonight. Shravanam. I'm holding my device, and by listening to the discourse, I'm getting the blessing as if I was sitting in the temple. Kirtanam. Kirtanam is not, sometimes when people say kirtan, they think, okay, I am singing a song like what we say bhajan. But kirtan is really chanting the name. The focus is not the power of God. There are two ways you could sing to God. You could sing, I celebrate him in Shiva, I celebrate him in Mrityunjay, I celebrate him in this name Chandrasekhara, etc. Or you could look at the power of God, meaning he is the one who allows me calmness of the mind, who we call Chandrasekhara. He is the one who, if I pray to him, he will remove untimely death, Mrityunjay, the power of God. Kirtanam is just the name. Just the name. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Kirtanam. Smaranam is remembering. Imagine when I was younger and we went to temple, my grandfather used to all, so where you learn last night? Where you learn? And you had to remember what the Pandit say, to come and talk to him. And what happened with Sri Ram in the forest and who he met. Who was the first person Sri Ram met after he separated from the people? What was that guy's name? Where did he meet? And like that, forcing the person to remember and share the information. Smaranam. Padma Sevanam. Padma means foot. Serving the feet of the devta. So sometimes these people, you might see them be the person who wants to clean the murti. They make sure they bow properly when they are entering the temple. They are bowing by their guru's feet, their parents' feet. Bowing is their way. They make malas for the foot of the murti. Archanam is everything that we call in our layman's words puja in different forms, havan, jap, etc. Vandanam is bowing down, prostrating ourselves. Dasyam is servitude. Tulsi Das, Ram Das, another name for Hanumanji, Ram Das, the Dasi or the servant of Shri Ram. Sankyam is developing a friendship. Sankhya Yoga is understanding where God is not necessarily in the murti or in the temple, but He's with me. So everything, the car is coming to hit my car. Jai, 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 Jai. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. God, I'm going in this exam room. Please help me. Lord Shiva, you have to walk with me. Lord Shiva, I don't know how to face this problem. Save me. And you develop that talk. Atma Niveditam, self-surrender. Letting go of the ego. It has some people that need or they relish in getting thanks, or the person they name call my name, or it have some people have the understanding if they practice this type of prayer, they live, don't thank me, that was everything I did, everything I gave, that's all the thanks be to God. God is the one. God allowed me to do it like that. That is bhakti. So those forms which are described at length in all your discourses, those things, he says, devotion, using and utilizing it as a tool, allows the person to please Krishna. If I become his dasi, like Hanumanji to Sri Ram, as an example, if I offer him prasad, if I do puja, if I listen to his prayer, I love to listen to his discourse. I did have yagna in the temple. I'm making time management. I'm going to reach to that yagna. Regardless, I must be there. I want to see the murti of Sri Ram when he's coming. When Ganesh Baba is passing on the road, I'm stop cooking and I'll run to the road just to see the murti pass. I have to see him. Those things allow a person to please Krishna. When Krishna is pleased, listen attentively, then the person is going to rise above all their problem. Shishya, children, in Kali Yuga, Krishna had said that the holy texts of Srimad Bhagwat, Mahapuran, will bring things that will add to the protection of this world. This world right now, in this Kali age, is like the world is inside, like a ball inside a tiger's mouth. At any time, it will snap, bringing destruction to each person. Sometimes a person is enjoying life, and that enjoyment doesn't last very long. And what that does, if you look carefully, this life is really about laugh and cry. You're so happy, you're proud of your strength, you're proud of your money, you're proud of your children. And the same strength is going to wane. Your same money is going to dwindle and go. Your children, unfortunately, some people lose their children. Death. Not all children are bad. But some children get married to somebody who takes them at a distance, and you're still grieving. Your children love you, but I have no time for you, mommy. Much more hurtful if the child becomes, unfair. They have no memory, they have no time, they have nothing for you, they have no gratitude for you, none of that. In this age, oh children, Bhagwat helps people become safe even when they are in this precarious situation. There is nothing superior in this world that could purify a person, bring their mind up to standard for they to realize the truth, the trap they're in. It is obtained by goodly people, by means of good karma or religious merit. Then and only then a person is exposed to the knowledge of Bhagwat Mahapuran. Tomorrow night, I'll touch on some of the religious things that just to paint the picture. We'll talk more about this archanam, the puja. When you find your sari, Baba, we all find that me know if I come and I reach by you, we all find the sari, I see you put towel, hand towel. Where you put that for? The Baba tell me to put it, my mother tell me to put it, now tell me put it, but me know what I put in this for. The tailor see you put brown, white, black sesame seed. Where you put that for? Me know. Think about what I'm saying. It is as if, yes, you're doing it, but I don't know what I'm doing. So you have to be careful, because obviously if you know what you're doing, imagine just for tonight's conversation, if this be Lord Krishna, I put in this for you. This is for you, dear God. I'm doing it because I would like to I need help. Krishna Arpan. Tomorrow night I'll explain that. When a person has attained this level of knowledge, goodness, because of past karma, then just as Parikshit, the person who is listening to the Bhagwat, when his guru is speaking to him, Parikshit is the grandson of Arjun, the guy who listened to the Bhagavad Gita first. Parikshit is the person who has to sit down and listen to the whole thing, that whole discourse. Just as Parikshit gains salvation, you and I qualify for that great amount of goodness. Amongst all the things that God created, Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran is one of the greatest tools upon the earth to help mankind. The talk of Bhagwat is difficult to be had. Even for devatas, when people are doing Bhagwat Yagna, the devatas come to that place so that they can relish into, just by listening, Shravanam, listening to the teachings of Bhagwat, because Bhagwat is the only thing, listen, key point here now, Bhagwat is the only thing that will give a person entry into Vaikuntha. There are many things that will give blessings, goodness. There are many benefits to get children. You give different types of grass, different types of herbs on the bedi. You give different types of flowers, and you will get different type of riches, family riches, money, children, long life, no suffering, no diapers. You live long and happy, and you can inherit those things. I understand that. But think about what I'm saying. The person who wants to dwell in Vaikuntha with Mahavishnu, that person is special. That person is rare to have the clarity that that is what I want. Thinking like this, O pure sages, always look upon the Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran as a form of Lord Vishnu. Let me explain that. You know, I wrote it here just to make sure I don't forget myself. We have all gone to prayers and heard Bhagavan, Bhagavan Mere Naya. Bhagavan. What that would mean? You're the Hindu. Bhagavan means the person who is full of bhaga. Bhaga is in different moments riches, goodness, energy, light. Bhaga is that which will uplift a person. When he lifts his hand and he bless you, he has the ability to lift you up, 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 straight up. Not some way, not to a point, and then you can't go. This person is able to pull you. When Ravan is absorbed into the body of Sri Ram, he is never to be seen again. And we'll refer to it with Vijaya and Jai just now. Bhaga is the wealth, the happiness, the light. Bhagavan is the person who is the holder. He's the house of this Bhaga. So we say Bhagwan Sri Vishnu, Bhagwan Maha Narayan, as we was doing Narayan Sukta. Bhagwat or Bhagavat Mahapuran, the book that is the body of Lord Vishnu, that is the house of all the Bhaga. This is why you will hear about Mahabhagwat Puran and you will hear Devi Bhagwat Mahapuran. Devi Bhagwat, this body, this book, that is the body of the goddess, that she is the one full of light and she is the one who could give you what you need to ascend out of the sansar. No more birth, death, birth, death. Think what I'm saying. You have to understand what that elevation brings. Some people pray, dear God, in my next life, I don't want to be blind. I don't want to have children that will treat me bad. I don't want to be messing myself in a pampas. I don't want to have this ailment and that ailment. When now you want to go beyond that, when you want to rise above it and to come out of this study, why is constantly going and coming, going and coming, going and coming bad? Think about for the person who has to go through. There's a discourse in Bhagwat where they talk about the birth canal, the womb, and the suffering therein. The person comes into this birth and they have to grow, and all the pain, the pimples, the puberty, all the pain, suffering, love everybody, married, love, fall in love, make sure and love them, and then grow and lose everything. In a summary form, everything you've had, the person who has to go on early retirement, the person who lost their job, they are depressed. The person who lost their spouse, they're depressed. The person who is, hit with a surprise, like an accidental death of a family member, they're depressed. You don't know how to go forward. And then you keep going through that. It is heartbreaking when you think about it. So the person reaches to a point, they're fed up in this existence and the soul wants to go further where there's a perpetual, there is everyday joy and stability in, let's use a word, in the heart, in the body of Mahavishnu. When I go to live in Vaikunt, when I'm one with him. Bhagwat, whether Devi Bhagwat or Mahabhagwat, Devi Bhagwat is saying the goddess is the house of all that Bhaga. In this text, when I put it on my head, I have her with me. When I raise that Bhagwat and I'm coming to read Bhagwat Yagna, Saptaha Bhagwat Yagna, I have Mahavishnu, he's coming, everybody, he's coming. So you will see people stand, you will see people playing tasa, people is walking, it's a procession, they want the Arati, the book, it's Mahavishnu is coming. Why is it important? Because he has that bhaga that I need. I need that light, that energy, that luster to boost my life, my soul upward to him. So the person bows their head, they lie their body flat. If you ever see anybody do that, the person is walking with the book, and in their trajectory, you will see the devotee throw themselves on the ground and stretch their hands out, face down, their whole body, whether mud, road, paved, whatever it is, they offer themselves to Bhagwat. He's coming. He is coming. This is what those words, when you hear Pandits are saying Bhagavan, Bhagwat, Bhaga, this is what it means. So we are learning. In this way, know that this Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran is the form of Lord Vishnu. Now you understand what that means. By reciting it, by listening to it, a person becomes, their soul, when they elevate to reach to Vaikunt, they change, they transform into the likeness of Mahavishnu. They become so uplifted that their body, they get a form like Vishnu Bhava, and they get that peace and shanti that they are looking for. No more losses, no more turbulence, peacefulness. Listening to it for 1 year, there are different vrat, and this is what we are going to talk about. How to use Bhagwat. Like my Hama, follow me. If a person takes Bhagwat and they are drowning in depression. They are going through hardship once for the month. Some people do it twice in a month on the Ekadasi night, but on the full moon night, different times, auspicious times of Mahavishnu. Listen to Bhagwat once for the month, for a period of a year, and a person can become happy. If with devotion a person listens to it at least for an entire whole month, every day for a month, when we talk about Yag, there are different methods. Some people have 30 days, 31 days Bhagavad Yagya. This brings a different amount of blessings to the individual if all the steps are followed. However, listening to it for 1 week brings salvation. So if I use the tool, this is the benefit. If I use it in the correct way, oh goodly God children, please listen. What is the use of talking about all this? Good men should read Bhagwat. Good people, men, women, should read Bhagwat. If just a little bit, every day, the record of Krishn's Katha, listening to it, talking about it, it will erode the sins. This is what Sanak and his brothers, Sanak Kumar, others, full with love, gave to Narad, told Narad, even after he had listened to Bhagwat from his father Brahma, Narad Muni, Narayan, Sanak Kumar, they told Brahma, the son of Brahma, this, the manner of listening to Bhagwat for 1 week. Prem Sabolo Vindravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. In doing so, now Saunak says, having listened to this introduction, oh Father, about Guruji, about Srimad Bhagwat, what did Narad Muni, what did he learn? What was the benefit? Go into it. Tell us. What did Narad Muni learn? How did he, what is the manners? What is the mannerism? How does a person listen to Bhagwat? I don't know how to use Bhagwat, Guruji. All I know, let's be fair, everybody. All I know, I go to the yagya, I sit down, I try to remember to take off the phone and put it on silent, and when it's done, parsad and food. What could I do to use my tool? Correct. So that I see change in my life. I want to see change. Guruji says, I will tell you about the account, but with full devotion. Previously, my Guru, Shukra, the planet Venus, told me about this. Once Sanak and others saw on the bank of Vishala, a river, Narad Muni, his head was dejected, depressed, lost. And the Munis, these Sanak and others, saw him, they are brothers, and they feel very sorry for him. And they say, oh, Muni, what is wrong? You are always singing Narayana, Narayana, happily going from place to place. What is wrong now? What is the cause of your quagmire, your predicament, your sadness? What is happening? Narad Muni starts to explain to them. He says, knowing this earth to be the best of the best, having various kinds of what makes it the best, having various kinds of holy places, auspicious nature, due to these auspicious places, I wandered here and there. I went to places like Pushkar, Prayag, Kashi, Godavari, where that river is flowing, Harishetra, Kurukshetra, Situbhanda, and other places, but I couldn't find happiness. It couldn't give me delight. Because now, on this earth is affected by Kali Yuga, the friend of unrighteous people. This is their time. On this earth, currently, truthfulness, purity, pity, charity exists nowhere. People are selfish, hypocritical, miserable, and they bear a lot of false witness. People say they do good things, but they are not being truthful. People say they are doing, for example, charity, but they want praise. They want something in return. Imagine a man giving somebody something and then saying, okay, I want you to advertise. I want you to sleep with me. I want you to give me sexual favors in today's world. He says, this is what I'm seeing. What true charity, what true pity, what true purity, what true truthfulness is there? People are lethargic, they are lazy, they are dull-witted, and they celebrate remaining without common sense, without goodly or godly guidance. Their body, it is only, this world is full with people who believe in science and they leave no room. And we deal with that in Bhagwat Gita. They only believe in evolutionary talk, but there's no room for God anymore. Householders attack the importance, they attack the importance of women. Religious students, religious people have no time for vrata, for vows. In this way, and many listed, through their greediness, they sell their daughters. These hypocrites, their unwanted behavior, the contamination in this world, the fall of the mandir, the fall of there's no saint or sadhu or person who does meditation. Even imagine yoga in today's world has become so commercialized that people take yoga and they bastardize it into stretching exercise. For many Hindu people, yoga is only for stretching purpose. But there's no religiosity, there's no spirituality in the yoga anymore. There's no kundalini energy anymore. If you look at it, somebody took a part and parcel of our Sanatanism, Sanatan Dharma, and they take it and they put their own terms. They're not using the authentic names that we have. The names are too technical, too hard. They monetize it, they sell it in different videos and workshops and so on. And it is very functional. It helps a person with, for example, sciatica nerve to stretch their legs and stretch their body. But the yoga has so much more to it, and that part of it is never tapped into. In this world, that type of bastardized or abuse of spiritual knowledge is going to happen. In this world, all the vrat, all the good things, the yoga, all the mantra, all the things that could have brought help is going to be burned to ash because of the fire called Kali Yuga. Communities quicker sell food than give food in charity. People make a big fuss to sell food. You have to pay for that. But they have no humanity in them to offer somebody. Oh, you're hungry, maybe you can't afford it. Have something, eat something. You will see more householders ill speaking, rebuking guests, whether, whatever food, whatever recipe, doesn't say, that's not important. But think about how people used to, in our lifetime, warmly offer somebody something to eat. You cannot come here and not eat something. And that trend is slowly dying away as people are using finance as, the reason. But to be honest, people in the West Indian culture, people weren't the richest when our ancestors came here as laborers, for example. Principal of Indravan Bihari Lalaki, Jai Sitaram, everybody. So I interrupting your yagya briefly just to remind everybody. This year's yagya, Bhagwat yagya, at the ashram, Sri Krishna Seva Ashram, is going to happen on the 3rd of August to the 10th of August. This is the 7 days, 3 times for the day, normal yagya. And on the Sunday, we're going to do Visarjan. Everybody, every single person is invited. If you would like to take part, to get involved, to help cook, to help make prasad, to help sit for prayer, if you would like to bring flowers, cut up mango wood for people who have cow, to bring gobar for we to burn in the fire, I need your help and I invite you to get involved. Of course, I expect you to be fasting and prepare yourself properly. For all those people who would like to sit, especially my elders, use the opportunity. Come with us. Join with us. Call me. You have my number on the screen as we get back to the Yagna. Call me, message me, WhatsApp me so that you could get involved. Everybody, again, on behalf of the team and myself and Mummy Baba, we are opening the door. We are calling you. We are inviting you in the name of Lord Krishna to come and take part in your Bhagwat. Looking out to hearing from you. Everybody give me a call or message me. Sitaram. We had meek, but if it was a ripe fig, if it was a little piece of roti, whatever little we had, the idea of sharing was always there. Helping was always there. But as time is passing, salaries are going up, conveniences, the water pump, the microwave, the different AI and the different technology is going upward, but the humanity is going downward. As we realize more and we are unlocking more things, if you are very clear with me, it seems we are locking up the human inside of us. And then, brothers, whilst going through all this dismal and realizing how much the place had changed as time has passed, I reached to the bank of the Yamuna. And when there, I reached to this place called Vrindavan. This place where Krishna, Vishnu Baba, in Krishna avatar, where he had sported in previous janam, previous kalp, in a previous age. And there I saw a wonderful thing. In Vrindavan, I saw a young lady. Her mind was dejected. She's sitting and she's surrounded on either side. She's flanked on either side by two old guys. Breathing heavily, belabored breathing, and they're struggling there. Senseless, half eye closed, that kind of thing. And the young girl is trying to get them, to wake them up, to nurse them back, maybe offering them little sips of the water, waking them up, but they wouldn't wake up. I saw her looking for help in all directions. She's helpless, looking frantic. Repeatedly, she is fanning these two old boys, and seeing her from a distance, I approached out of curiosity, out of charity, out of pity to help. Me and you, if one person trip, if a lady fall today in the road, not me ain't going to help that. Where are you going to help that for? We would be the person to stand up and take out the phone. Another tool, take out the phone and video. Look how the lady fall on the ground. Ha ha. Look how the child bleeding. Look how the girl embarrassed herself. Ha ha. But never render assistance. That is the times we live in. That is the popular thing to do. Narad is a different person. Maybe, for lack of a better word, cut from a different cloth. He comes from a different time. So with his training, he sees this girl with these two old people trying her best, but she's alone. She's young, and with that youth, not very strong. So he goes up to her to ask her what's going on, what's happening. The girl says, "Oh, good person, stay here for a moment. Help me in this moment where I'm full of anxiety. The sight of good people, helpful people, people who want to help you without looking for some kind of sexual favor, monetary favor. You ain't want nothing. You see, to meet good people like you, very hard. Even when you meet good people is good people because maybe God, I am not saying only one form of God is activated in the person. And because of that activation, you could see the streamlining of compassion from their hands. You could see tears in their eyes. You cry, I cry. You feel, I have feelings too. Because of that, when you are in the company or you interact with good people, you feel it. You feel the divinity. And I am just feeling calm being in your company. Please stay with me just a little bit. Because of my former existence, I am in trouble. Please help me with my problem. Narad Muni says, in listening to all of this, he says with full affection and pity, brothers, I asked her, who are you? Who are these two older persons? How you with your young lotus eyes, calm person, tell me what is the cause of your grief, young girl? Tell me what is causing this. The young girl says, I am Bhakti. I am devotion. I am the body. I am the embodiment of devotion. And these are my two sons. This one is Gyan, knowledge. And this one is Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. I'll explain that just now. They are hurt because of the contact with destiny. There are certain things I have to read for you to catch this. Here we are by the river Ganga, and if I touch it, it purifies the person. But because of the time on Narad, they are becoming withered. They are becoming emaciated, weakened, the body drying up. In local word, we can say maga now. Eaten, as it were, by contact with the environment. I am not getting any felicity. I am not having any type of happiness. O sage, help me. Because of this unhappiness, today we are in this place. I started off in different areas, and as I went from area to area, as time is passing, my felicity, my joy, my luster dwindled. And it is only after coming to this place called Vrindavan I regained the youthfulness, the sum of my power, some of my youth, my energy. When we were doing the Saptashati part, the Kunjika says, Mother, you who make things transform, you make the flowers bear, you make the seasons change, you make it happen. When my feet touched the ground of Vrindavan, because of the energy and the power, the bhakti, my energy came back. But my two sons, look at them. They are being affected. How come I could become young and look at my son still old? What is the difference between us that they have to be like this? So my mind is full of wonder, my mind is full of worries. You who know all religious practice, Narad, Muni, you who have access into Vaikunt, please tell me, what is the cause of my trouble? In this way, when Bhakti spoke to me, I said to her, O sinless one, my wisdom, see in your account, is simply this. Don't be sad. Vishnu Baba will make you happy. This is Kali age, fearful, and the destruction of goodness is happening. Due to it, good conduct, the part of yoga, the part of prayer, penance is being violated. Sinful people roam this world doing dishonest and bad things. But the people who are doing dishonest and bad things, oh Bhakti, they are becoming like the devatas that walk the face of the earth. Have you ever said, but it looked like the bandit, the robber, the white-collar criminal, the people who doing wrong, the people who persecuted me in the court, people who being troublesome, neighbors, family members who wrongfully accused me, people who practicing black magic, mohanam and different type of, harmful prayer, tantric prayer, they seem to be flourishing. And good people suffering, dragging. He's saying the same thing here. In this age, they become God. And the good, they are afflicted with grief. And bad, they are full. The only thing they have in their heart is bad memories or bad present, or they will face bad. No strong-minded or wise person to guide a person when they are drowning in sin and pain and grief in this life will come to that person to even encourage goodness, to remind them of things that they could do. Have you ever gotten sick and you can't find the solution to your sickness, and somebody say, boil Zabapik? I tried it, it really works. Try this cough syrup, it really works. Go to that doctor is able. That's the man, he will fix you. There's nobody like that. Try this tool, use this tool, and you will be able to overcome your predicament. Not even somebody to advise you will come. It will be as if you are alone. Go to any marriage person, situation, fighting, where they're fighting a narcissist, introvert narcissist, where the person who is the narcissist, let's say the spouse in my example, is showing the world they're perfect, or only home, the victim, the spouse of that person, sees the truthfulness. And no matter how they are calling for help, nobody could help them. Nobody could understand. Have you ever heard somebody say, he just do them thing? I never know. He could never be like that. I'll never believe that. I'll never believe that person is capable of that. And the person who is the victim lives in a trap, because nobody would support them. Nobody believes the other party is bad. But those things do exist. But the darkness that is there, this earth becomes burden filled with wickedness. It is not fit to touch. It is not fit to even see. But this is the order of every day and every year in this Kali Yuga. Oh, beautiful one, no one will see you, the bhakti, the devotion. No one will have care for you. Worse, your sons. Nobody wants to have Gyan. Gyan is the knowledge. Vairag, commented just now, renunciation. Nobody will care about that. People are full of attachment. They will be firm in acquiring things, niceties. That is their whole life. That is all this life is about. Look at yourself. Tell me. If I do prayer, for example, Baba, I just pray. I agree. What are you praying for? Saraswati Mata, help me to pass the exam. Shashti Mata, bless the child. Bless the womb, bless the baby. Lakshmi Mata, bless the money. Durga Mata, bless me, etc. Lord Shiva, bless the marriage. In that way, for things. But no point, Lord Shiva, thanks for everything that you already give me. Today I say in my prayers, I don't need anything. Today I just want you to be with me. I want you to love me. I want you to know I love you. And I am just so happy that I wake up this morning. When the evolution of your prayer happens, in an example, do you expect a 5-year-old and a 50-year-old to pray the same way? Knowledge, experience, maybe the circumstance. There comes a point where everybody, and I'm saying it from my own perspective as well, we all pray if we need things, we need help. If you're sick, I'm saying say prayers for that. But there has to be a time when you get mature in your prayer and you start to realize that God gives you so much. Rather than thinking about what God give me, I need to focus on what He has given me. So you say a lot more thank you rather than please, please give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. There has to be a tapering of that, a balancing act of that. The person becomes only focused on getting and hoarding. But because you came in contact with Vrindavan, this is why you have become young, as you have been infused with the power just by His footstep being here. This place is so blessed that your energy, your luster, has become, you have regained your purity, and for this reason you have become young again. These two, however, cannot become young because they are starving. They are not going to be fed in Kali Yuga, because the general trajectory of everybody is to throw away Gyan, they don't want to know, and Vairagya is out the door. Bhakti says, how did Raja Parikshit deal with Kali Yuga? Why did Mahavishnu give him help? Remove this doubt, O Muni. Help me with happiness and I will be glad. O Sanak, Narad Muni is talking. O Sanak, I spoke again. O girl, he's telling his brothers, remember this is somebody narrating. O girl, if you have affection, if you have it in you, please listen. Since the day Mahavishnu left the earth, when Krishna Baba is going and the Gita Mahatyam was chanted, Bhagwat Gita Mahatyam, where Mother Earth takes the picture of the cow again and she's telling him, come back, come back. That is the part where you'll hear the verse, Gita, Ganga, Chagayatri, Sita, Satya, Saraswati. If the person chant the names of the Gita, what they will get, half the book you get the blessing of the Gaudan, for example. That when that happened, when he left the earth, and he went on his own place, Kali Yuga, the obstruction of truthfulness came in. A king, Parikshit, he had conquered everybody. And he was becoming he is very powerful. But let's run through a little part here. Everybody talks about Parikshit being so powerful and goodly, the person who listens to Bhagwat. But if he is the grandson of Arjun, and this is a question somebody asked me, how is it that he becomes so sinly that he has to listen to Bhagwat in the first place? How does he, if you know the story of Parikshit, he got angry with his guru, long story short. And he insults the guru, and the guru tells him, well, in 7 days' time, you're going to die. And after that, mistake, we have Bhagwat for 7 days based on what we'll hear. And Parikshit is allowed, to become, to gain mukti, liberation. If Parikshit is so great, how come Parikshit becomes so sinful to make this mistake? And the answer is this. When Krishna left the earth, Kali Yuga came in. That time started immediately. Kali Yuga is coming. Yudhishthira does not want to be on the throne with that time. That Kali Yuga is bad. I don't want to be here. So they start to move. They give up the throne. They put Parikshit on the throne. And from Yudhishthira head, the crown goes to Parikshit. Parikshit is the son of Arjun's son, Abhimanyu, who had died. So there's no person there So this is how the grandson comes the king. So when Parikshit is the king, he is very powerful. He knows prayers. He says, "You cannot take my kingdom. This earth is not ready for you." And Kali Yuga, let me say, in a human form, says, "This is my time. This is the time that was ordained for me. Lord Vishnu, give me this time of darkness for me to do my work. Give me some quota. Give me some quarter, some place I could go and dwell." So he talks about the prostitute's home. He talks about the gambling den. Since then, people don't have the practice of playing cards in their home because it brings about Lakshmi. It brings the loss of Barakat, etc. So he listed 4 places. One of the places, he says, you go and live in gold. So the answer for how Parikshit becomes accursed or a person who is sinful, one day he put on the crown. And the gold that is in the crown, he is under the Maya now of Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga caused him to make this mistake, this misstep, that now puts him in sin, and he has to go and regain his virtue. In Kali Yuga, an intelligent man gets the blessing of goodness or lifted or upliftment by narrating any account of Lord Vishnu in any of his forms. The person may not have to do penance. The person may not have to do meditation. The person may not have to do concentration. But just by listening to the pastime, it will be enough to circumvent the effects of Kali Yuga. Seeing Kali Yuga like this, giving fruit from a fruitless time, a person is able to help themselves, even in this very barren, very hopeless, very short, suffering, sickly, sickness-ridden time. A person in this time, if they're not careful, they become a grain of rice without the paddy. Look at the imagery. The rice still has some inherent good, the nutrition in it, but it is not fertile. It cannot grow. You cannot develop. However, if the person is told of Bhagwat, then they regain the ability to grow. If the Bhagwat is read in homes, then where there is no help, help comes. But the person must not be greedy for wealth. The person must be of a different nature. People who are cruel, those who do cruel deeds, atheistic deeds, hypocritical deeds, these are not the people that will be drawn naturally to Bhagwat. The person should, doing these type of textual reading, listening, they should give away the unrestrained mind, lusty mind, greedy mind, hypocrisy, heretic. The person should study the text, listening to the katha, give up sexual, all types of fetish, all types of needs from the sexual side. Otherwise, they are reducing themselves without control. You become, the word here, he buffalo and the she buffalo. You are like 2 animals in a field that cannot control yourself, even for a period of time. However, the person can rise above it. And when in these ways, they are able to censure their karmic pain that they are experiencing. Therefore, Bhakti, a person can gain happiness in this life and in the life after. Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Due to my good luck, Muni, today I am listening to this and it is bringing me joy. Now advise me how to gain happiness. Tell me, O son of Brahma, how that the sentences that Prahalad, the son of Kayadu, who is the wife of Hiranyakashipu, Prahalad Mami, how that person was taught, the mother teaches Prahalad in the belly, Dhruv, all of them learned that by doing Vishnu's puja, how they are able to overcome it. Tell me, please. Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. That was chapter 193 of Padma Puran. Now we are going to do 94. Let's join together in this slok. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama. Narayanaya Krishnaya Santana Kritas Joye Malam Pushpa Brasya Ye Vishnu Pushpa Manda Bhagwat Dukha Par Chinta Matatena Pradhanasti Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama. As we enter into this section, we want to overcome the sadness. But please, let's run over just a couple of points before we move forward. Gyan is the ability, knowledge. Knowledge is the meaning of Gyan. So you will see on our flyer, Gyan Yagya. Gyan Yagya. Knowledge, a Yagya, coming together of people that are going to give knowledge, disseminate knowledge that will uplift the person. If we are not careful in this age of Kali Yuga and you are bombarded by it on a regular basis, you go to Yag to learn something. But let's be frank. In this age, we are reading less from our books. And you're hearing more of the orator, expression, their opinion, their feelings. However, it is the words, it is the power, it is the vibration of the word, the name of Krishna, the understanding of Krishna, Ram, Vishnu, that will bring the evolution of the soul that we want. If Keshava likes okro, bhaji, bodhi, that doesn't help you. It is entertaining. This is why I love Sada Satsang. When I'm doing yag like this with you, we are fixated on our objective. This is where we leave off the ABC Kachakrab kind of satsang and we get to where you are growing. There must be a growth in your knowledge. I need you to understand Gyan. Otherwise, the person who doesn't know better, they are doing things. They are doing things, but they don't know why they are doing it. I could be using this, as I said before, as a good pot spoon. And I will swear this is how my mother used it. As you know the old talk. My mother-in-law used it so this is how I know it. Until one day somebody come and say, you're using it wrong. I remember the first time my grandmother gave me Sil and Laura, I started to pound the thing like this. You could imagine how I get rough up. Until you learn the art of it. I remember the first time my grandfather tell me, hey, look at some grass, use the brushing cutlass. Children today may not know about that. Brushing cutlass, but instead I cut the grass, I went and I chop in the mud. And the man tell me how I love be, sir. I have no training, I have no art, I'm hopeless, I lost. Put down the cutlass, don't do it. Don't do it, it have no hope for you. Because you are using the tool wrongly. You are without training, you have no art, you have no knowledge. But when the person learns to use it correctly, how powerful. At one point, you couldn't beat you upon it. I was cutting grass, like if today we have brush cutter and other equipment. I could have cut it like if I was measuring it, I was good. Training gives you that. Practicing the knowledge gives you that. Imagine the first time you make parsad, you make it like taffy. And then you bring in and you learn and you apply goodness. Your goodness, you want to do it correct. You want to do it the right way. The attitude transforms. You want to, okay, ask any teacher, you go to school, the hardest thing, my good friend Shivanand Maharaj, he teaches music. And the hardest student, they might have the best instrument. They might have the ability. Or they come from a genealogy that have it. But oh my God, the attitude is the worst. The teacher, just see it in your mind, whether in school with trigonometry, or they're teaching about the covalent bond, or the teacher is saying this is how to make the chord. And imagine the student is of the firm belief. I know that. I don't know that. I read that already. I know that. I know about that. My father tell me. My father. You know, people say, my father, my mother. My mother don't teach me that. Teach you what? with that ego, with that attitude, think what I'm saying, because it's rampant. That head don't say, don't pay attention to the art of how to do it. Don't learn. Don't develop. But if the person's brain is humble, well, I would like to learn how to hammer the nail. I want you to teach me the art of making parsad. Could you teach me how to make your parsad? I love how your parsad is tastes. With a humble attitude, the same person could learn the art of using the tool and they would shine because of the attitude. But knowledge is the key with the attitude to get that. That knowledge leads a person to something called vairagya, a state or a stage of detachment, dispassion, renunciation. By definition, that is what it is. What I mean, a practice of letting go of things and not becoming a slave to it. In practical sense, some people could have a car. Some people is take the car to a fanatic level. The car is the life. Them kind of anything happen to that car, rain fall on the car, they're upset. It involves overcoming cravings for things that we must have, things that, you can't do without. Vairagya means there's a time, imagine Diwali is coming, but I cannot stop smoking, I cannot stop drinking, I cannot fast, I cannot stop food craving. Think about your health, and the doctor is saying, listen, you have kidney problems, you need to stop taking Tylenol, it's damaging your kidney. But I need the tablet. Think about sexual cravings. This day and age, there's a lot of craziness. You're hearing it every day on the news. Our children, our ladies, they're in danger, walking on the street, danger. Money craving. I will, and it's in there in Gita in chapter 16, I will get that money by the hook or the crook. Cravings. Vairagya means I'm not going to be a fanatic for the car. I'm not going to be identified only by my job. Have you ever come across somebody because their job is their life? Today we did this and today we do that. And then it have some people, yes, I have a big job or I have a company, but you would never guess because they're so humble or they're so simple. It have some people is want to show you who they is. And then it have some people, you would never guess that person have that title. Vairagya is within yourself, not for nobody to know. But maybe 4 o'clock, I stop being the engineer. 4 o'clock, I stop being a doctor. I don't have to advertise the money in the bank. I could just go home and be a daddy or a very good, loving husband. Being able to not be a slave to the job or a slave to the business, allowing it to make you as if it were, instead of God becoming your master, the business, the video game, the addiction, that becomes your master. This leads to a life of self-control. And because you are taking control of your life, vairagya brings an end to a person's suffering. Because when you can't eat the meat, oh God, Diwali morning you're watching everybody vex. When you, we could start to drink today. When you can't get it, and the mouth suffering for it, you're suffering. Be honest. When you have that self-control, that brings an end to your suffering. It liberates the person. And it allows the person to enter into a different realm of devotion. That vairagya and that Gyan are the two old men sitting on the side of their mother Bhakti. When you have Bhakti, you will get vairagya. When you have Bhakti, you will have knowledge. It will come to you. Oh girl, do not be sad in vain. Let us continue. Having placed your mind on the feet of Krishna, you will always have happiness. That Krishna protected Draupadi. Draupadi, who was going to be raped in that hurtful stage, Krishna protected her. That same Krishna protected the cowherdresses, the girls who were there helping tend to the cow, making the makhan. When they were making mistakes, when they took off their body, their clothes and their bodies were naked, going into the water, doing their Devi's prayer, and they were bare, he taught them how to do it correct. He trained them. Oh Bhakti, you are dear to him. You are necessary. You have a role to play in this age of Kali Yuga. You are critical. You cannot be weak. He wants you to help him do his job in the Kali Yuga. In the three ages in Satyug, knowledge and Vairagya, Gyan, Vairagya, they allowed salvation. Salvation is mukti. In Kali Yuga, bhakti is the only thing that will allow a person upward movement. Because the knowledge is hard. Baba, the first thing you're going to tell me, be honest with yourself. Baba, you see all them terms, Bhaga, Bhagavan, Bhagwat. I can't remember that. I don't want to know that. I just want my Mahanbog when the prayer's done. The knowledge, too much for me. I don't want that. It does not track the person. Detachment, why I could drink. Somebody tell me, where I fasting for? God coming for in my heart, not what in my stomach. So now they curtail the parts of Hinduism they will follow and the parts that they not convenient. And you find out, okay, I'll make my own version of my religion, and things don't work the way you want it to work, then you have a problem. The religion is good. And it all it does, you could say that. You're free. That is the beauty of Hinduism. You could do that. But when it brings you now into a life of damnation where you are in a downward spiral, how to help myself? I can't help myself. Panditji, help me now. But me, I want to pray like that. Me, I want to fast like that. Me, I want to listen to that. Me, I want to sit down for the yag. Me, I want to do that. How to help you? I can't help you. You can't help yourself. God help. Deciding like this in this age, dear one, join your hand and think of him. And with her hands together, she asks Vishnu Baba, what do I do now? And he says, oh Bhakti, you did this before. And Krishna ordered you to go and nourish my devotees. Full them. When a person is hungry for answers, maybe that confusion. When a person has a problem and they're hungry for a solution to the problem, what to do now, what to do next, go and nourish my children. A devotee of God is, let me say, a small percentage of the entire population. Those people that are looking for me, go. And Bhakti, when Krishna told you this in the past, I'm reminding you of your past, Sri Hari Vishnu answered your prayer. He gave you salvation as your worker, your dasi. Salvation, Mukti was her name. She was your assistant. She was your personal assistant. And he gave you knowledge and Vairagya, detachment, as your two sons. Remaining in Vaikunth always, you nourished your devotees, and that devotion kept them there, close to Mahavishnu. And to nourish your devotee, you resorted to the form of this form where you came upon the earth, like a shadow, following them, growing them, giving them teaching, knowledge, allowing them to attain Vairagya. And by that attainment, in Krita Yuga, Satyug, Dwapar, etc., Mukti or liberation was attained. However, in Kali Yuga, Mukti became so emaciated, so maga, so lost. She suffered because of the contact of people who have no faith. She had to run from this earth. And Mukti, the energy of salvation, ran back to Vaikunth. On merely being remembered by you, she is able to come to a person if they work for salvation, but they have to work for it. It is not just there. Looking upon your two sons, you have protected them by your side, but due to this age of Kali Yuga, your sons have become dull, no energy, old, weak, and you are full with anxiety. Oh, beautiful one, there is nothing like this age called Kali Yuga. It is in all homes, all families, and it works by obscuring practices. It causes trouble. But if we bring about something to promote some form of solution, it will bring an end to it. If I, Narad, cannot help you, I am no longer going to be the Dasi of Lord Vishnu. I give up, but I will help you. Those living beings, even sinful, who are endowed with you, Bhakti, in this Kali Yuga, those people will reach quickly to Vaikunth at the feet of Mahavishnu. those of pure form, those people who are devoted, people who are that love inside of you, inside of their heart, the different form of bhakti. Remember what I said? They don't see Yamraj in dream. Evil spirit, pisach, bhoot, people who have demonic ways will not come around them. So imagine if you teach your children, for example, at a young age, to sing for bhajan, sing for God, go to temple, sing. I'm using an easy example. Play a drum, play a harmonium, but do it for the right reason. Sing for God. Sing for God. Don't sing for people to see and love you and clap for you. That is fine. But I, as the singer, don't let that be the purpose of it. Don't become an artist, become a devotee. Allow that devotion to grow in them so that when they go to school, they must not have a problem where they are the target, where the bully, where the hate, where the animosity, where the racial, where the target is on their back. I don't want that. Fill them with devotion. Put them to pray, and those bad things will move away. When they walk in with the light of Vishnu inside of them, with the bhakti, whether it is done by austerities, listening to Vedas, eating prasad, different things, those people tend to shun because the light of God is within them, activated. Darkness has to go. Having obtained devotion, then, just like the cowherders that worked with, played with, ate with Krishna, in those times, they gained access to him in heaven, in Golok. People of righteousness, after suffering in this sansar, they gain access into heaven. Even when people had done different offenses, think about in different katha, it makes reference to when Durvasa Rishi cursed Bhakti. Durvasa is a form of Lord Shiva, and he too tries to conquer, to gain that you should stay here. And he has to lose the Bhakti. Nothing beats Bhakti. Bhakti alone will give salvation at the end of Shlok 21. Let's hear what happens in this Shlok as we nearly finish tonight's discourse. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, यानि यानि च पापानि त्वं देव व्यक्षयामि बलपृष्ठ, कोमस्य वृद राजन्तं तानि तानि प्रदक्ष्यन्ति, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. He says, I will help you, dear Bhakti, don't give up. And with her body now, because you give the person hope, I will guide you. Narad, you are truly blessed. And you have consistently shown affection to me. Thank you. Never let go. Never leave me, because right now I'm depending on you. To appreciate this moment, let me just use an image. For everybody who have a daughter, everybody who have a wife, or a lady yourself. You get a flat tire, or something happen on the road, and a good Samaritan, the good ones, jumps out of the car, pulls up, on the shoulder behind you and says, hold on, let me help you change that tire. Okay, and safely sends you on your way. The joy you get the help, somebody came to your aid, and then there was no bad incident. I was not robbed, raped, hampered, and the relief you feel, thank you God, thank you God. Similarly, Narad, you are truly blessed. Thank you for this kindness that my suffering has been destroyed in this moment. My sons, however, they have no understanding. Please help me wake them up. Hearing her words out of pity, imagine he started to pull their hand, shake them up, puts his mouth close to his ears. Gyan, wake up, Vairagya, wake up. And through repeated songs, he chanted the Sedi Suktam, Vishnu Suktam. He chanted Gayatri verses, and nothing was waking them up, not seeing their eyes moving, no signs of life now. Not yawning, nothing. Their gray hair looked as if he paid attention. He felt as if he was watching two cranes, the way their hair was white. Silver foxes. Their body dry like wood, emaciated with hunger, and they were lost in the depth of sleep. He thought to himself, what should I do now? How to wake them up? This old age is so severe. This old age is so severe. Old age could be a damaging thing, you know. In the front text, it tells you that it makes a person feel they know it all. The reality is, I am never too old to learn how to use this. And a lot of people are learning that now. In India, you have a lot of cashlessness. You have a lot of apps to pay. A common one in the Western world is PayPal. But more and more, you have your device. I go to buy 2 kilos of guava. Trust me, our auntie is taking out an app, Strike or something, from her phone. And she could swipe to a normal vendor. Auntie had to learn how to use that app. WhatsApp, that's old. That's old stuff. Everybody could use that. But a retooling is constant. So when somebody says in life and finance, you have to learn how to, it's mandated. You have to retool, like it or leave, like it or leave it. You have to force yourself to learn how to use the Facebook or the WhatsApp to communicate with your grandchildren at a distance. And you accept that. You have to learn how to use the ATM machine to do your business. You have to accept that. Online banking, you have to accept that. And you learn it. Otherwise, you're going to be in a predicament. In the same way, your spirituality is the same. Old age. Baba, I'm too old for prayers. Baba, I'm too old to come in the prayers. I'm too old to do this, that. And people use it as an excuse even. Old age is severe. Not everybody has that youthful soul. Have you ever come across the difference? Old, complaining, nagging, hateful, negative old person, grouchy. And then you come across a person, you could see the light in them. They numbers wise, they have the age, but it is as if they could communicate with any generation they interact with. There are joy, they love, the laughter, the light is beaming through this person. And this person is not a slave to age. They are not a servant to old age. They don't let it pull them down in their mind, and their body will follow. Narad Muni is saying how to overcome this. And in his mind, remember we talked about Atma Nivedidam? Krishna, what to do here? Vishnu Baba, what to do here? What to do? How to overcome these two old fellas? They can't wake up. It's like they're in a coma and I don't know what to do. Thinking of Govind, a divine voice was heard, the Akashvani. Oh sage, don't be dejected. All the effort that you are exerting right now will be fruitful. Don't doubt about that. Do goodness. Good men, the ornaments of their virtuousness is the good deeds they do. Don't stop doing good because you are not getting through. The first time you try to hammer a nail, you miss the nail, you pong your finger. Don't give up. The first time you try to cut the grass, you try to cook the prasad, the korma come out ridiculous. Don't give up. Try, keep trying. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll do it. Be consistent in your prayer. When the good deed is done, sleep, old age, all of that, for those two, it'll disappear. Bhakti will spread everywhere. Oh Brahman, even after having heard this, Sanak, he's talking to his brother, he relating a story. Brothers, let me say brothers so you don't confuse you. Who talking to? Narada is talking to Sanakumar. Brothers, even after listening to the Akashvani, I didn't know what good deed they was talking about. The voice tell me, do the good deed. Doing good is good for good people to do. But what was the good? I could not make out as to what the voice was talking about, as if it was a big secret. What is the deed to be done? Because I really did not know. And I had to go and figure it out. So where to go? Somebody have to tell me what is the good deed. And he leaves from where he was at the bank of the Yamuna. He leaves Bhakti and the boys, and he goes in search of what is this good deed that would be able to remedy this predicament. What should I do? What did that voice really hint me to do? And he's walking and thinking. All the time while he's doing it, he's talking to Lord Vishnu. Me and you talk to ourselves every day. Should I wear this shirt? Should I wear that shirt? But that voice, for some people, they will say to themselves, I now talk to God about it. I thought about it, and I think I want to take that job. For example, he is talking to God. I don't know who you talk to. Going on like this, he met prayerful people, saintly people, sagely people, and he repeated what the voice said. And some of them said, well, I cannot comprehend it. I don't know what he's alluring to. I don't know what that Akashvani meant. I don't know what it is. Some of them recited Gita for him. Some of them recited Vedanta for him. But it didn't seem to fit. It didn't seem to remedy what the problem was. How can people, Narad Muni now thinking, how could people solve the problem when it is you don't even know how to start to fix your problem? I am somebody who goes to rub the foot of Vishnu Baba and I cannot figure it out. How will the normal person figure it out? Then at one point he reaches to a place called the Badhari Vahan, or the forest, where the Badhari ashram is. And determined to practice some kind of penance, some kind of, meditation jap, where he's conversing with God. It is a way to lock off the environment. What's the point of meditation? Forget the car sounds and the distractions and just hone in, make a link, touch base with the divinity and take inspiration, take the blessedness from it. So he went to do that in this calm place, in this holy spot. And just at that time, I came across you guys, and this is where we are. Brothers, this is what I've come here for. I'm trying to figure out how to solve this problem with this lady and she two sons. I saw you by some great luck, and now I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm sharing my predicament. Please, Kumaras, they call them Kumaras. These sons of Brahma, just to give you a little backstory. Sometimes in movies, you see them 4 young boys, roughly the age of 5 years old. But in the eyes of the creation, they were one of the first things that Brahma creates. But they tended to stay to celibacy. They did not want to create and make and procreate children and this kind of thing. So Brahma makes them for one thing, and the Kumaras wanted to do prayers, to focus on Mahavishnu. So he says, you who are 5 years old, but you are my ancestor. You are the ancient or ancient. You always live in Vaikunt. You are always engaged in the narration of Vishnu Baba and his stories. You are intoxicated by the rus, by the nectar that comes from listening to Vishnu's prayer. Wherever he is, his katha is being read, his worship is being done, you are there. For that reason, till today, when you have Shrad, when they're doing Tarpan offerings, you will hear Sanat Kumar, Trapyantam, Sanatans, Sanandan, etc. They always call them. You are the fitting one to tell me how to solve this. You are very devoted in Smaranam, remembering Vishnu Baba. And for this memory of remembering the Katha, a little hint here. When a person wants to slow the progress of age and make old age or age not so devious to your existence or to your experience. Some people live good, healthy, strong bodies till the day they have to leave the earth. Some people different. One way to get that is smaranam, practicing that form of devotion where you are remembering katha. Not only listening, but you practice maybe reading and remembering, recalling it. And it gives you the ability to be, very vibrant in older age. And you're not very sickly, you're able to walk to the washroom, etc. It is very potent. The daughter of time does not trouble you because of this. Oh dear one, please tell me how I can work around this problem. Wise one, tell me how I can get Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya to enjoy happiness and prosperity in this world. The Kumaras now looking at Narad like the small brother, their small brother. Don't be anxious, Narad. Be delightful in your mind that Vishnu Baba is using you to help people that don't know better to get to betterment. You are his emissary. You are doing something that he wished to happen. You are the closest to Vishnu. You are the person who has the love of Krishna. And for this reason, this knowledge is about to come to you. O divine sage, a person has to be engrossed in devotion, and then on this earth, that devotion will bring them out of their problems. It will bring them out of pain. When a person is executing any type of activity, if it is guided by devotion in their marriage, in their life, in their various parabdha karma, their dealings, a person could eat roti and tomatoes and say Krishna Arpan, or a person could eat the roti and the tomatoes without grace, never thanking the physical cook, never thanking God for what was provided. And in that simple one episode of an act, if the person has devotion, they would make sure and say, God, thanks for my food, in simple language. The path leading to Vaikunt is hidden in this world. A good man who is teaching it, a good lady who is teaching generally in this age of Kali Yuga is hard to find. Oh, best sage, good action, that divine voice is causing you to have something called Gyan Yagna. The voice hinted the good deed is to have Gyan Yagna, encourage people to come together. This is the creation. I am reading from verse 55 in chapter 194 of the Padma Puran. Uttarkhand, Pandits who are reading. Gyan Yagna is found, created, or mentioned, defined in the Bhagwat Mahatyam. He says when a person brings together people, remember the word yagya means sacrifice. Sacrifice is also meaning I am sacrificing time to be together to learn. In this way, in this talk, in the recitation of the Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, this yagya will give the person the ability to develop bhakti. And when they have bhakti, they will grow in Gyan, they will grow in Vairagya. And all the sins of Kali Yuga, the sins that a person has done will be burnt away. And the person, the sin, or the people who are sinful will run just by when you hear Redhi Siddhi Data Papiyo Ko Pa. When those prayers are chanted and the Bhagwat is getting ready, it says, just as the wolf has to run when the lion is roaring, know that the power of Vishnu will bring that bhakti. It raises something inside of the person. The soul starts to churn by the tool of the form of Vishnu. When it starts to work in that person's life, the pain, the suffering, the hardship, the heartache that they are going through, they are going to be able to rise above it. Gyan Yagna, Bhagwat Yagna gives that, O Narad. Bhakti, Gyan, Vairagya, no matter how much Kali Yuga tries to kill it. Imagine you have weeds or plants in your yard and you're using the best chemicals, pesticides, weedicides to kill it. Kali Yuga come like the pesticide. And when a person has bhakti, no matter what hardship come, no matter what poison come in my life, Mirabai was affected by the in-laws. She was treated horribly in her marriage, but Krishna is with her, and she sings with a golden voice that opens the doors for Vaikunt. The person does not give up. The person it is as if they cannot give up. How could I give up? How could I commit suicide when Krishna is at my side? No matter what toxic fumes Kali Yuga will come, Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya lifts, and it continues to lift the person out of that toxic moment, sickness. In comparison to Vedanga, Gita, nothing compares to Bhagwat. How? Narad says, how then should it be recited? Give me the knowledge of how to use this Bhagwat, how to use the Bhagwat to remove doubt, to bring back goodness and good times, to bring shelter when people are in the wilderness and they are uncovered. There's nothing protecting them from Kali Yuga. and only pain and suffering is beating them like the rain hitting somebody without an umbrella. I want to cover and nurture the children of Krishna. Teach me, brothers, how to do that. So that you who live in celibacy, you who has been living this supernatural form where you can go and come from by the foot of Mahavishnu, see his creation, come back to him, go and come, allow others to enjoy and relish in that blessing. The Bhagwat, the brothers are saying to Narad, the Bhagwat raises the value, the teachings of the Ved, the Upanishad. It is there in the Bhagwat, the same knowledge, but it is painted in story form. Therefore, it appears in a more delectable way. Think what I'm saying. If you taste salt by yourself, how much of that you eat? But you cook the same salt in a method, sweet and sour, orange, whatever type of sauce. The same salt, you may physically be eating more salt, but now I could ingest it better. In the same analogy, the teaching of the Ved, the teaching of the Upanishad is there in the Bhagwat, but it is given in a form that people are able to taste and relish. Just as how the taste of the mango, listen to this analogy here, the taste of the mango when it is ripe at the bottom of the mango tastes the same generally to the top of the mango. It is the same, delightful. However, if you taste milk, you will taste milk. But inside of that milk, it has ghee, which has separate properties. And if the person is able to separate the milk and the ghee, you could analyze, you could appreciate the ghee, not knowing it was once inside the milk. In the same breath, imagine sugar tastes very sweet, but when you are eating the sugar cane, you cannot identify the sugar. It's there, but it is lost in this form. Likewise, the sugar is there in the mango, but you cannot see crystals. You cannot say, oh, this is white sugar, this is brown sugar, for children to understand. Bhagwat is like the milk, the Vishnu, the teachings of Vishnu that are in the Veda, the Upanishad, is like the ghee hiding in the milk. It's there. But the person listens to the story, the battle, the fights, the goods, the bads of the Bhagwat, relishes in the story, relishes in Bhagwat. And the manifestation of that sugar coming out of the mango, of the sugar cane, the ghee, follow the analogy, work with me, brings about the happiness. Your body, when you eat the sugar cane, you get the energy to work. In the same way, the Vishnu content of the Bhagwat, it being his body, allows the manifestation of happiness due to bhakti, gyan and vairagya. It allows the person to uplift themselves. There is 4 verses that when Ramayana was closing, for those of you that know your Ramayana, when Valmiki had finished, there were 4 verses that were left over. And he says, take those verses and go and make Bhagwat. Another day I'll touch on that. I read that recently when I was in Triveni. That comes from the Gujarat Ramayana. Can't remember the name right now. If you remember the name, send me a message. For those of you looking on live, please send me a message. I hope you're enjoying your satsang. We're nearly finished. Please tell me where you're viewing from. Share this satsang. That account of where the linkage from Ramayana, and if you've never heard that, please remember it, from Ramayana, in the poetry of the Ramayana, verses were left over and it became part and parcel. It is what stretches to give you the Bhagwat. It is what brings the Brahman, the energy that makes this entire universe come under the footing of the devotee. It is that, O Narad, that was taught to Vyas, and Vyas takes this knowledge and he writes Bhagwat. And in this way, the person is able to use the knowledge from the Ramayana, now molded in the form of Bhagwat, with the constituent, the main ingredient being Vishnu Baba, and the person listening to it, wanting it, hearing it, worshipping it, uses this form is able to overcome depression, is able to overcome any form of torment. The person mannerisms develop. So when you have a child with bad ways, with bad attitude, a spouse with weaknesses, deficiencies, the person believe it. When you say your prayers properly, you could get change, you could get development. It is possible to see change in your life. In these verses, our God, Kripa Raj, the God of mercy, is Krishna. If it is that it is written that you're born to suffer, you're born, my father roll in drain drinking rum, the son go fall in the drain too and drink rum. Where you come from genetically, that is all you're going to be. I don't think so. I think every day we pray and we change, we ask God genuinely, simple language, dear God, change. Please, I have $5 in my pocket, change it 500. Dear God, I'm sick, change it, make me healthy. Every day we ask for change. That's the power of your prayer. But it must be powered, the prayer must be powered with bhakti, not ignorance, not knowing what you're doing or why you're doing it or you're doing it halfway. Dear Narad, when a person like this understands the capability of Bhagwat Puran, because of the constituents of Krishna Vishnu, the person could enjoy any form of happiness. Having heard, Sujji is saying to Saunak, having heard these desired words, the answers that Narad Muni is looking for from his brothers Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanakumar, Narad, young brother, imagine a full-grown adult, is bowing with his two hands and head to the feet of these munis. These little boys, 5 years old, they look like that. They salute, they bless him and salute him. And he says, whilst he's kissing their toes, your sight as somebody who is good, somebody who could give this knowledge to me, has burnt away streams of sins, sickness, afflictions, like how fire burns away weeds. In this age of mundane existence, I am drinking from the words as if it were coming from Sheshnag. Today I understand the feeling of felicity, of love. I feel from being lost and not knowing in this quagmire of life how to help myself, how to help the people I consider, in this case, the girl and she two children. I understand the feeling of help. When you get help, how it feels happy, how a person could feel joy, and I thank you for it. Because of this teaching, I am now going to raise in my religious merit. And the people who are around me, I can give them advice to lift them out of the darkness of the delusions that afflict everybody in this age of Kali Yuga. Thank you. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Tonight, permit me, I'm sorry for going over, but I wanted to read word for word for you. As I conclude, I'm holding up here as we finish 194 chapter. Narad Muni continues. Tomorrow night we'll continue with it. Bear in mind all what we've spoken about. What is Bhaga, Bhagavan, Bhagwat. When you are going Bhagwat, it had Devi Bhagwat, in this case, Srimad Bhagwat. Look, the tote in Bhagwat. I want to help. I want to tote the Bhagwat on my head. I want a arti. In our ashram, why I'm reading this every year, we have embarked on a vrat to do Bhagwat for 7 years consecutive. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Think if somebody says to you, just come and sit down for the Bhagwat. After listening to this and understanding the value, somebody opens the door and says, listen, just fast, prepare yourself, come. Parsad, flowers, leaves, puja material, everything waiting on you. You just reach here and do his prayer. Too often people make excuses when we have time, when we get older, when we have money. Those things may not never show up. In today's world, many people don't have the ability to pay. Let me be frank. The help, you can't cook the food. The temple, the ashram says, well, we are custom helping. I use it as a summer camp. I'm in the kitchen with Mommy Baba teaching children how to make different, recipe. And we occupy them in that way and get them to learn. Elders today in this age of Kali Yuga, look at your environment. How many people can say they will get to have Bhagwat by their home, to teach other people, to have this Gyan Yagna? As we come to the end of tonight's discourse, I hope you listened. I hope you learned something. This is where Bhagwat, the greatness of it, is being discussed. This is where our katha for our yagya this year, I'm telling you, this year Bhagwat at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram will be the 3rd to the 10th of August. But I'm not the only Pandit doing Bhagwat. My good friend Pandit Sunil, different people in Tablan, in Trinidad, South Trinidad. The art of coming back, bringing back Bhagwat, making it popular. In the last couple of years, it was as if it had a renaissance, and everybody is doing it. And I'm encouraging, whether with me or with other people, as you are hearing, Bhagwat has a lot of merit. And if you're looking at me abroad, there are different ways to do it. Even if you have to do it one time for the day, because of work in different, populous countries and so on, it doesn't mean don't do it. For people who are running temple, youth groups, etc., consider what we've discussed and what we have to offer our elders, our youth, when we rob them of these things called yagya, where we don't provide a grounds for them to learn. What is a temple if not a place to learn about your dharma? What our next generation will do, for example. Tonight, as I've completed this first night discourse, I hope you have learned. I know we spoke about Vairagya, Gyan, Bhakti, the different types of Bhakti. If you're looking on at the repeat, for those of you on the YouTube channel, continue to like and share, continue to subscribe, continue to join us. But if you're watching me on TikTok Live, please follow along, be with us tomorrow night, where we continue in meaningful discourse to understand the greatness of this text. For now, I invite you to put your hands together and let's do our final prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for the time. On behalf again of those people who have lost their dear ones, may you bless them, lift your hands and reward them. Many people are celebrating birthday tonight. Many people are celebrating Narad tonight. Dear Lord, may you reward them with your choicest blessings and your personal attention when they need help the most. Together, everybody. Tvameva mata Chabita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam
Mama Deva Deva
Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Together. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai, Pauna Putra Hanumana ki Jai, Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki Jai, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our discourse tonight. Join me tomorrow night where we'll continue. Until tomorrow, everybody have a safe day tomorrow. Sitaram. Sitaram, everybody. And as we get set to listen to tonight's discourse, before we go, I just go into the Yagya. I want to invite each and every person for Bhagwat 2025 at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram. You are all invited. Whether you would like to help us cook, get involved in making mala, bring your children so that we can teach them, or maybe you would like to sit for prayer. Once you follow the rules of fasting and preparing yourself that we all know and we've come to practice when we have prayer, the door is open for you to come and take part. Please give me a call. You have my number on the screen. When the Yagya starts, use it. Call me for more information. The dates on the invitation, again, from the 3rd to the 10th of August. I am cordially inviting you and your family. Come sit in the audience. Come sit for prayer. Do what you would like. Get involved in some way. And it begins with a phone call. It begins with reaching out, calling me, texting me, and we'll do it together. See you soon. I hope you enjoy your satsang. Have fun, everybody. Sitaram.